Puja, peace and blessings to everyone. I'm going to give it just another few more minutes. To all, peace and blessings. Good to see you all here. Thank you for your patience. How is everyone doing today? And anyone, well, we'll begin in a minute, but if there's anyone that wants to share any reflections they had from last week in the chat, you are welcome to do so. And give me a moment. The computer is moving very slowly, so I have to go at its pace. That's why I'm speaking this way, because I don't know what will happen. I think it wants to retire, Seba. It's letting us know. Okay. So remember, I can't see you. Well, I can see you in that computer. So I may look to the side. So we will begin with our chanting of Kemetic Om. It's like the other O, except it comes from Kemet, means the same thing, relates to the transcendental divine essence. That is the essence of, that is the one, that is the essence of all. Great is thy name, air is thy name, excellent is thy name, hidden is thy name, mighty one of the gods is thy name. He, she whose name is hidden from all the gods is thy name. Om, mighty is thy name. So this is from the Leiden Papyrus, 400 BCE to 0 ACE of ancient Egypt of Kemet. So we will do our Om chants to start us off, centering yourself, connecting with the breath, and connecting with the aspect of the Om as you just heard in the song. So in a way, it's like sort of the reverse, I guess, order of Nebuchadnezzar, Kepra, Asar. So it's sort of more going from Asar, because this is like we, as aspirants in time and space, the idea is you're going in reverse to reconnect. Of course, you can skip too, but that's the idea. So it's like the Asar, the Ra, the Nebuchadnezzar, and actually probably the Haru, the physical time and space, the Ra, the Asara, the astral, the Ra, the causal, and then Nebuchadnezzar, the transcendental. And that goes like, we're going to talk about the mouth today, because a lot of you don't want to eat your hearts out, eat with the mouth. So, yeah, so this is doing something different with the mouth, right? This is like actually our mystical lineage process of connecting or going through like, oh, time and space. This is a mystical illusory reality, which at the very core essence is nothing but Nebuchadnezzar, or mind or thoughts. Oh, at the very mystical illusory reality, but at the core essence, nothing but Nebuchadnezzar. Or unconscious mind, and all they are you, but and the soul essence, but nothing but Nebuchadnezzar. Oh, well, Nebuchadnezzar is Nebuchadnezzar too. So it's really aligning all of our essence as one. Seems like we're all here, but there's only Nebuchadnezzar here, and so it's connecting us all to that in the process of remembering our true essence. The cow. Me.
The Om is still on the screen. If you advance the slide, we had not seen it, just not sure.
Oh no, it's the Om. We're still having Om reflections. So, okay, let's go ahead and chant the Om. Closing the eyes, and then we chant in the exhalation. And if you recall, like either on the inhalation, you can pause for a moment after the inhalation, hold the breath. If you have high blood pressure, don't do it on the inhalation. You're going to do it in the exhalation. And for others who don't have that issue, you can do it in both or either. So you're going to pause it, inhale, pause, and then we're going to exhale, chant. And then you can just kind of allow it to go to a silent pause after that. That's the awareness of Nebuchadnezzar pause. And then we're going to inhale and do it again. Just for time's sake, I may just do, I'll count your chants, your counter chants as also to do the 4. So I'll do 2. Inhale. And you can recite in your own sacred space with me. Ma'at anku ma'at, ma'at nebuten, ka hena ma'at, on hena ma'at, hasina ma'at, dua ma'at nebuten. Ma'at is the source of life. Ma'at is everywhere I am. I rise in the morning with Ma'at. I live with Ma'at. I let every limb join with Ma'at. my actions are not. So today we are again embarking on our program of frustration, our KMTTV television pop-up review series. And the topic we are dealing with is frustration on the spiritual path. And this is supposed to be interactive. So even though Seba does talk, you are welcome to interrupt. You're welcome to type in the chat. You are welcome to stop me at any time. You have a reflection and insight. You are welcome to share it. That's what it's for. You're not interrupting. You're just sharing. So feel free to do it. No bad manners. Just this is the format we're using. And I want to go directly, for time's sake, so we have a variety of books we're using for this specifically. Some students used other teachings because the teachings are all, the essence. The focus is Egyptian proverbs and Mott precepts, and then other sources that are sharing the wisdom and wisdom teachings as well on this topic. And the KMTTV series, we are going to actually the 2016 Turin Conference recording videos. Those are going to be shown in upcoming weeks. It's too much to do everything at one time, so that's going to unfold. And so what I want to play today is the readings that actually got all this started. The readings from the Sunday devotional on September 28, 25, where they read from the Assyrian Resurrection, which we call our Ancient Egyptian Bible, verse 161 specifically, but 157 to 162. And of course, this program is, you can join it every Sunday. It comes on before this meeting that we're having now. It starts at 8:30. It's free. We invite you to join. And I think they're almost concluding the Syrian resurrection for I don't know what umpteen time. And since we've started the devotional, but we are going to be restarting it shortly. So it's a really propitious time to really join and log on in the meetings and get that devotional awareness. And so much of what I'm sharing here today, like the meditation that they do at the end, it just reinforces the mystical lineage, the Asar soul awareness essence. So, and of course, they're reading not only the book, the story, the myth, but also Seba has the gloss in the back of it that gives a little bit of insight. So then they read that also. So you really get a lot of insight. And then maybe even more so, we'll see going forward. I might, when I get these little enthusiastic type of connections, and I want to share more about it, I want to explore it more with the community, then maybe I might do a few more pop-ups in the future. But so that's mostly to listen. It's only to listen. So if you can't hear, let me know. This is the reading by the devotional team on Sunday.
Listening to the teachings portion, segment of the program. Verse 158, page 129.
I would turn my camera off, but the less I do with moving things around, the better it is. So.
The secret mysteries of rebirth and enlightenment. At the center of the page is seen from the Battle of Heru and Set. Heru spared a hippopotamus fiend, a form of Set, with the help of a Set. They, Heru and Set, soon began the contest by transforming into large beasts. Set tried to help by creating a harpoon with her magic. She could not distinguish between the two combatants, but cast the harpoon into the waters anyway. She struck Heru in the side, who exclaimed in pain, "Mother, your harpoon had struck me. Please let me go." Set immediately released. Set immediately released him and cast it again. This time she struck Set, who exclaimed, "Set, I am your brother. Oh sister, why are you against me? What evil have I?"
I'm actually going to fast forward because that is the section specifically we're dealing with, and just because of time constraints. But it is available still for you to.
Spiritual evolutionary process, what you all just shared there. And I just wanted you all to like.
So Seba Jack called into the program at the end to share.
Listening to the teachings portion.
Oops.
Announce it because it's sort of a headline genius topic. I just wanted to share because like this is just such an important aspect of a spiritual evolutionary process, what you all just shared there. And I just wanted you all to like really take some time and do some journaling this week before the next session and see what unfolds in for your own spiritual practice. So I'm just sharing like one insight. There are many insights that of course come forward from these reflections. And the one I wanted to focus on is the experience of frustration that an aspirant may experience along the spiritual journey of life. So is there anyone who has not experienced frustration on the spiritual path? If there's such a person, you're welcome to type it in chat. But if you have experienced frustration, you're also welcome to type it in chat because it's a normal thing. It doesn't mean like you're a bad aspirant. And sometimes we use so much like self-judgment and self-criticism and we feel so bad and we're not growing spiritually. That's like a normal human experience. And especially in this culture that we live in, the outer culture, we oftentimes don't learn the tools, to actually allow frustration to just be a signal to ourselves that, hey, maybe something's wrong here. Like it's not working. Like, in other words, I'm putting forth effort to do something that I thought I was told this is the way to do it. And I'm really trying to do it, but it's not working. So it's like a time for an aspirant to kind of reflect on their Shetty practice and not to say like, well, I'm going to stop doing this if there's a problem with the Shetty, but how am I engaging with the Shetty now? Like my Shetty's brought me to this point, but there's like a higher lesson that's coming out now that I'm trying to use the same old tools of what I did in Shetty. It got me to this point, but obviously it's like there's something else I need to learn or to become aware of that is coming up because of this frustration. So it's important because we see what happened here, and one of the problems that is pointed out here is that intuitional wisdom is set. She cannot tell who's who. She's looking at the spiritual aspirant, the Huru aspect, your intuitional wisdom. I'm going to say you. I'm not pointing to anyone of you, but just you, the aspirant. Meaning all of us yous as aspirants. So the you, she's looking at you, the aspirant, Huru, and she's looking at your ego personality, the time and space aspect of the person that operates in time and space. Huru is a connection to beyond time and space, the true essence that's beyond time and space. Set is the aspect that is the time and space manifestation, running around in time and space, taking care of all the practical duties. And she's going like, I can't tell you apart. Like, you're both fighting in the same way, and I can't tell you apart. Like, Haru, what tools are you using to fight against that? Because I know what tools Seth uses. Seth uses frustration, anger, you know, hatred, envy, jealousy, fear. Like he'll throw all that stuff at the aspirant, the Haru aspect of the aspirant. But Haru, like, you're using frustration too. So I'm sorry, I couldn't tell you apart. So is frustrated that he can't get the throne and he has to go through and deal with you to be on the throne and be left alone in peace. But you're also using frustration. And I just couldn't tell you. So that's why, like, sorry, I accidentally hit you. So for an aspirant, like, what are you using frustration? Like when part of your ego personality, like, makes itself apparent and you become aware of it, you like deal with that aspect rising up, like more frustration, more like defeatism, more anger, all of that, because then it's making it like almost impossible for your intuitional wisdom capacity who's supporting you to tell the difference. So that's why, Haru also got struck, and he's going like, hey, I said, like, mother, like, intuitional wisdom, what happened? She's like, she kind of puts her arms up and said, like, oops, my bad. But you know what? It's your bad too, because I just can't tell you apart. Like, you're different. You need to be using different tools. So, Haru, it's frustration. What's the next step with the aspirant that's demonstrated here? You have to go off by yourself and kind of just sit there in quietude for a little bit and just like kind of like let that sink in. Oh my goodness, like my intuitional wisdom mother couldn't tell me apart from my egoistic uncle, that wants to take my place and take what's rightfully my true identity of connection to the self. In other words, the mind, body, ego personality is trying to take away and own your deeper, higher identity of your true essence as a spiritual divine essence being, Nebuchadnezzar, Ra, Aset, Irosar. And you actually, as the aspirant, is getting down to that level and fighting with that same weapon of that mistaken identity, right? So that's what Set uses to fight. Set is using the mistaken identity. And now you have forgotten your true divine essence and you stop fighting that way. And now you're fighting with frustration, which means that you too have come down to the level to say, like, yeah, I'm just this ego personality, this mind, body, self. And that's what I'm going to use to fight Set. So, like, no, that's not the way. That's not the way the aspirant, the Heru aspect of the aspirant needs to deal with the ego personality. That's the weapon of the ego personality. That's the problem with the ego personality, that it just thinks it's just this mind body apparatus and it thinks that's the true essence. So the aspirant is shifting away from that. And so frustration comes up just to kind of bring that awareness, like, hey, you're getting back into that pattern of like, fighting Set with in a Setian way, forgetting your true identity, and you're getting into all this frustration. So yeah, Haru had to go off by himself and he had to sit there and he had to allow his reconnection with his deeper essence. He had to get back into not using regular ego-based mind, time and space mentality, but he had to connect to cosmic mind, right? Lord Jehuti, to cosmic mind. The mind that is like connecting him to his sense of spirit, of being Ra, is connecting him to Ra's, connected to Nebuchadnezzar. They are connected to a Sar, soul essence, to a Set intuitional realization. That's his lineage. That's his family. That's how that's the tools that he has to use to go up against, because that's his true identity. And he has to use his true identity to fight this false identity narrative that he has been conditioned to in the personality that we call, Set. So that's what occurs. He goes there, Yehuti comes to him, he connects with the wisdom, the intellectual wisdom, but also kind of like a reflective wisdom meditation, kind of reflecting in the teachings, listening to the teachings, reflecting in the teachings. So of course this involves the Kanum Nefer, the spiritual association, gathering together in the presence of the teachings and the teachers, and imbibing that and helping the understanding to shift. That's a key important aspect of it. And then also we think of self-love, but oftentimes we're thinking of self-love in like still from that egoistic mindset. Like we've not shifted our mindset from being this personality in time and space identification to true self-love, which is the essence of who I am is spirit. And the spirit is the abode of all love, all peace, all joy in my personality. And so Heteru represents that. As we know, she is the expression of Ra in time and space. And not only that, right? Heteru, Het means house. She is the abode within which the spiritual aspirant, Heru, is supposed to reside and live. It's supposed to be living in that expression of Ra that is represented in a way in the time and space reality through the practice of the Shedi disciplines, through the Kanum Nefer, through the Sao Nebejer, keeping that awareness in the mind of the higher essence of who one is, through the presence of the time and space reality, and then also, Sage Amenemope says through Shai and Renan, which brings into the whole aspect of Ma'at and the Matian principles and understanding, the time and space practical reality, how it is to be handled. And, remembering what you all shared in, earlier that, there's a process of reincarnation and, there's an aspect of time and space reality that actually embraces and supports a spiritual aspirant. And that's what you have to stay connected with. So that's the message and the essence of, when an aspirant feels spiritual frustration, it's actually opportunity to really up one's game, so to speak, in this battle of the identities of the conditioning, the Setian conditioning of the ego personality versus the aspirant trying to embrace that essence of divinity that is the true essence of who one is. So if you're able to do that, then your assessed aspect and faculty is actually going to experience a transformation, and that you all will share in the next episode. So Hatak, peace and blessings, and you for allowing my popping inside sharing.
So based on that, my enthusiasm that came forth from there. So what I asked is that invite the community back then to join me in deepening the exploration through 42 precepts of Ma'at and Kemetic proverbs that speak directly to the sense of frustration in the spiritual practice, how it arises, how it may be expressed, and how it can be transformed in alignment with Ma'at. And so that's what we're working on. So I'm going to end the screen share at the moment so I can pull up the other. So I'm torn. So let me ask those who submitted, because this relates to you. How do you want to do this next step? When I say that, what I mean, let me try to figure out. Did I stop the screen share? No. The button that's not working. Okay. What I mean is that you all did submissions, and some of them were a little long, different sizes. And I can go through and have you read them all now. That was the plan. It'll probably take the rest of the today's, and I'm okay with that. Or we may run a little longer. But I wasn't going to be conversational in that, because then my plan really was to do it in a breakdown mat. I remember I took all of your submissions and I put it into the AI, and I divided into those three sections, like how does frustration begin, the breakdowns. So I asked AI, because some of you did it, but some of you just generally shared. And so I have those breakdowns. So everything you presented, everything you shared will be presented in the next three parts. So this part and then the other two parts. So, but it's not going to be representative of you. It's just going to be part of what you said if we get right into it. So we can either get right into it, but it's just going to be like the part that you said that AI put us, this first part that we were going to do today. So what do you think? Or do you feel, I don't want to shortchange you and feel like, well, that wasn't everything I said. And I don't want others to get like, that kind of a sense of, well, that was incomplete or, something like that. So are you okay? Which way you prefer, to read your whole submission all at one point in time, which will take up the rest of today's, or to, can I go ahead and do it in the breakdown, which will show James Howard's, his part for this section, and then we'll comment. And then I did laid it out in the order in which I received the submission. So James Howard, and I think Bas Anthony, and then so that way we'll start the communication, the conversation a little sooner, but I don't want to misrepresent what you said. The breakdown works for you, Shams Rakat. Anyone else has any prefer it the other way? And I see Baron Davis sometimes seems the more dedicated to the spiritual we become, the more difficult and frustration we face, especially in the beginning. Me, actually, if we start the breakdown, that's James Howard. We get right into that. And why? Because we and others have been comfortably living this way, not comfortably, we've been uncomfortably comfortable living this way, right? We've kind of accepted this is life. I heard that this is life, this is what it is, the good times, the bad times, you make the best of the good times, you get through the bad times, this is life. And so most people live in that surface, and they don't dig below that. So as the aspirant Shetty, like the worm Shetty, which is like spiritual practice, it means like to excavate, to dig deep. So you all are digging deep. And like if I go into my yard and I see the beautiful grass there, or the grass and a little bit of dirt, it's not so much dirt because it's like more grass than dirt. So it doesn't look too bad. I would go like, this doesn't look really dirty. There's not a lot of dirt here. But if I start excavating and digging into the earth, all it is dirt. And there's a proverb that addresses that. So, yeah. Okay, I think so far I have the breakdown. So let's go to the breakdown. Let's see if I can do this. And you know what? What I can do is I can share your full post, the composite I made for it, in the Temple Signal group. And it could also be emailed. So I can do that, so that who wants the whole, because you all shared it there. I've just compiled it is all I've done. Okay, let me see which one it is. I believe it is this one. Okay, do everyone. I appreciate your feedback on that. Okay, I have to change screens to see. Oh, I have to bring that screen over here. And that works. Okay, great. Okay, we will close with the Hetep D today. We are going to just move on. Or we'll do a quick Hetep D, the Ampu to open our ways, or an Ampu faculty to open us up and allow clear passage into the deeper understanding of our nature, our mystical lineage. And for those who missed last week, I know it's maybe Best Paquette can show you how to access it if you wanted to review it. And I was going to ask, I don't know if Best Paquette or Asar Unutmat, if it's possible to make it available, like we have a free KMTTV aspect also for a period of time, or if they can access it for maybe for the next or maybe while the course is going. But I will leave that all to you. Or if they otherwise, you can join KMTTV and it'll be there. So we have to consider. I don't want to make it so much work more for Bas Paquette and Asar Unutma to try to it's so many things that go on to try to make these little exceptions and extensions. So if anything, it'll be available in the KMTTV.
Seba,
Me.
available on KMTTV, and it is under the heading called new programs, but it is for free right now, as you had shared. Hitep.
Okay, Dua. Okay, so there you have it. Hitep di nesunetera ampu webwat nepta jaser perkeru ka apet sineterari makeru.
Odebdi nesunetera ampu webwat nepta jaser perkeru ka apet sineterari makeru.
That's what we did week before last. And then last week we did my conceptual framework presentation. And today is the application of that conceptual framework application to what was shared. Okay, here we go. So I'll call on you when it's your post to read your section of it. So Shems Howard, you are up.
Puja.
Puja.
Okay, let's see. So I have a theme frustration on the spiritual path with Seba, KMTTV. Intuitional wisdom, Aku, is unable to distinguish between my Haru nature and the unpurified and maybe purified Sethian aspects of my personality. At the start of the battle, Haru appeared vibrant. However, a deep chronic sense of insecurity and dissatisfaction arose in him because of unresolved problems or unfulfilled needs, and he eventually became frustrated. Nevertheless, to have peace, there must be strife.
Somebody's your phone.
Okay.
What?
Is it your phone that's on, maybe? Here. Uja, can you? Yes, that's my. Okay, Dua. So we are going to look into this, and if any of you have comments, again, you can type it in the chat, and or you can speak at any time if that goes along with what I think Aspirant Baron shared, addressing kind of those issues. So I think I have a couple questions for you. Oh, so I was going to do this a different way, and which is, let me get to, okay. Okay, if anybody has comments, you're welcome to share. So my question to you all, at the start of the battle, Haru appeared vibrant. I wanted to ask you to type in the chat or share. Do you remember when you came into the teachings and the start of the teachings? Did you have that vibrant feeling? And what was that? Can you express what that vibrant feeling was like? Did you feel that vibrant feeling like Haru? And what was that vibrant feeling like? And if you can speak, you are welcome to speak, because if you speak, it'll be on there. But if you share in the chat, I'm going to ask Asarmat or Asarmat, would you be able to read, or I can ask Shams Rakat?
Ni, Seba.
Okay, if you can share what they are posting, if no one wants to speak.
Asar Fresh Meadows did respond. Mine was a vibrant enlightenment.
Speaking can be faster, so again, you're welcome to turn on your mic and speak as well. I guess nobody felt vibrant. Came into the
They're
teachings
typing
hall,
Seba there.
huh?
There's multiple people who are typing
You,
in.
I'm a veterinarian, so it's like I'm picturing like you all walking in there. Like sometimes I see the dogs with their tail between their legs, and it's like, coming to the teachings. Is that how you came in, or you came in like the dogs, like that kind of happy, vibrant, oh yeah, effervescence?
Uja, my vibrance was, I think, related to uh, uh, enjoying and learning and being excited about the teachings. Okay.
Dua. Okay, so that kind of goes along with. So I did put my notes, like my written notes here, and normally I would clean that up and you all wouldn't see my notes and all that stuff. But today we are just, it is what it is. So, so I might say some things and then my notes, like I might say, oh, I've already covered that. So like, yeah, so that's like Sage Metamopi, almost like it sounds like a little bit Shams Howard, like when you remember, uh, when you get the Shams and Menamopet teachings, then you might couch that in terms of Shams, Sage Menamopet said, like, reflect and think about the fact that you're going to the beautiful West. Like, keep that in mind. Like, oh, enlightenment. Like, I think Asar Fresh Brew said. Yeah.
Uja,
Uja?
Shims Abdul here. When I got into the teachings, I was vibrant and, greatly motivated learning about myself, and learning more about the world and the situation that I'm in. These are the questions that I've been asking for years. They're going crazy, and when I first read the books, I had to take a break for a minute and say Seba Ma didn't know me, because it was like it asked a question that I've been asked for years. He asked, "Have you been asking who am I?" Yeah, I've been asking that. How you know? And I had to take a break for a minute. Like, wow, this is real. And it just gave me all the answers to those questions that I was threatening Ra, throughout my years, that if you don't teach me now, then I swear when I get there, I'm gonna be following you everywhere, bugging you with 1,000 questions. So it's best you teach me now. So I guess that's why I'm here, because I was dead serious, because it's just too confusing. A lot of things don't make sense. So when I got into teaching, like I said, started learning about myself, the universe, the world, and what reality was, and illusions. I was very vibrant. Okay.
Hotep Dua. You reminded me a little bit there of the myth of Set and Ra. Like, Ra's like, who am I? What's going on? Oh, you're Abdul. You're this truck driver. Like, what do you need? You live here. You do this. Like, that's what you are. What more do you want to know? Like, Ra did that to a Set. It's like, oh, like the world is a star. You see the stars. You see the sky. Like you see the people. Like, what do you mean? Like you want to know what who you are, and what's beyond like this face of me that I present here. So it sounded like that same kind of thing to me, and feeling, and yes, that finding out about ourselves. It's like, hey, I am king, and I am supposed to be sitting on the throne, living here like some pauper. Abiding happiness is supposed to be mine. I'm supposed to be able to have an inner peace at all times. Like, whoa, like what happened? So, yes, so vibrant feeling. Sarma, do you want to read some more?
Uja, Sarmat here reading Shem's Rakat. It grew over time, but feelings of lightness, pure love, and floating. Shem's Bell, mine was thrilled to learn. And Bast Paket, Uja, just responded to Shem's Abdul. So
do
Shem's Rakat, Shem's Bell. That's it.
do for sharing, you all. Okay, so like, yeah, that's a real thing, that vibrant feeling. And so I might have already said what I might have said there, you know. Oh, I think I was going to let you all express that, which you did. So I don't have to comment in the vibrant feeling, you know, like just like finding out who you are, finding out like there is a way, like for me, it was like there's a method to the madness and there's a way out. Like, oh, okay. So it was like coming into something that just finally made sense about life. And that's like that in itself, right? It's like a big weight taken off the shoulder. I mean, there are other little weights there, but that's like a huge, big weight of release. And that vibrant feeling, it's like that just like instantaneous sense of connection to spirit, like in a more straightforward pathway. It's like, oh, I'm already that. It's like just finding out like there was a corner house and it's like, you know, $1 billion house and you've been passing by it every day and you've been seeing it and you've been going, boy, I wish I lived there. Boy, I wish I lived there. And then one day you come to find out you're somehow the long lost child of the person that lived there and they died and now the house is yours. It's like, whoa, everything I've always wanted, everything I've always dreamed of, everything I've always longed for. It's like, whoa, right? A beautiful feeling. And my comments might be a little bit out of sort. So, in regard to Howard, however, a deep chronic sense of insecurity and dissatisfaction arose in Heru in the myth because of unresolved problems or unfulfilled needs, and he eventually became frustrated. So since the topic is of frustration in the spiritual path, and you've all shared aspects of frustration, we will be and you know engage in those aspects of frustration that you shared about, and this deep chronic sense of unresolved. And again, you may type in the chat if you want to share. So, you know, we talked last time about the Herufi, and I think the Herufi, right? Heru with two heads, when he has one disposition towards Anma'at. Anma'at means like not Ma'at. An means not, so not Ma'at. As opposed to Unmat, which Unmat means like absolutely like Ma'at, like Nebuchadnezzar would be Unmat, the absolute truth, you know, of existence. So he had one with on Ma'at and one with Ma'at or Ummat. And so there's a proverb, it says, it takes a strong disciple to rule over the mountainous thoughts and constantly go to the essence of the meaning. Well, let me have somebody read for me. Save my breath here.
Good job. Shama. Heru with two heads. It takes a strong disciple to rule over the mountainous thoughts and constantly go to the essence of the meaning as mental complexity increases. Thus will the depth of your decadence and challenge both be revealed. Decadence.
Right? So KP means Kemetic Proverbs from the Egyptian Proverbs book, which are wisdom teachings from the sages, the ancient sages. So yeah, coming into the teachings, it tells you right here, they're telling you like, yeah, the challenge is going to be revealed and the depth of the decadence will be revealed. Like, in other words, the depth of egoism. But that's like really a great, wonderful thing, right? Because it's been there all along. It's like you've had a thorn in your side all along. It's like, you know, and you don't know what's bothering you. And he asked, is there a thorn in my side? And he said, oh, yeah, but we all have a thorn in our side. It's supposed to be there. It's part of being human, this thorn in your side. And we go along with this thorn in our side, you know. Um, and now we just find out, like, wait, it wasn't supposed to be there. So pulling it out, yeah, it's going to hurt. And it's been in there for so long, it's going to be stuck. So it's going to be a little challenging to pull it out because you think you've become part. It's become like grown into the tissue and stuff is grown around it, just like the identity of the egoistic identity has grown around your, you know, your sense of your spiritual identity. And so going around with this thorn in your side, it's like it hurts. And so you've been, acting in this way, of decadence. And so it's going to become even more revealed, as you all have shared, because it's been covered up. It's like sweeping all the dirt underneath the rug and saying, oh, life is fine. This is life. And it's like now it's like you're looking in that aspect and say, like, that's not me. Oh, but you've so conditioned to being me. And now you're sensitive to it. It's about sensitivity. Before, like, it was just like, this is who I am, this ego personality. I'm Karen, you're this, you're that. But now it's like you're finding out something different. And it's like, how did it go? How deep is the rabbit hole go? It's like, whoa, like, how has this, like, false identity, like, infected all these aspects of my personality? How has my mind been infected by it? How's my heart, my been infected by it? Affected, infected. How's my thoughts and my feelings been affected, infected by it? How does it infect? How is it affected, infected my actions? Like, that's a lot. That's like a lot you're dealing with, like an aspirant is dealing with. Like, that's, oh, like, Sage says it takes a lot of thinking to become thoughtless, thoughtless in terms of, like, going beyond thoughts, because that's like a lot. So that's what, and so it becomes a challenge. So that's why you have to go to the essence of the meaning. Like, you can't forget that, because in that challenge, it's easy to forget, like, what is the eye on the prize, keeping the eye on the prize, the essence of the meaning. It's like Nuke Nebuchadnezzar. Oh, so I had the image here of the Harufi personality, the egoistic set decadence, and then Haru, the challenge, the awareness of the mystic lineage, and like the awareness, like, this is the challenge. The challenge is to Sekau and Sekamen, to remember and not forget. And that's going on amidst the egoistic decadence doing its, like, egoistic dance. It's like, hey, watch me over here, and trying to distract you from that. So it's a challenge. So this part here, Shems Howard says, nevertheless, to have peace, there must be strife. Shems Howard, I wanted you to express. So, oh my goodness, I can see the we are taking, Sebaja's taking her time. So we'll see. The process, well, the process that Sebaja is using is taking its time. Shems Howard, what do you mean by strife? I wanted to know, what was your definition of strife? What did you mean here?
Well,
There must be strife.
well, as you were sharing, I realized that the whole process, recognizing and discovering the depth of the decadence, and then being motivated to take the challenge. I had asked a question before, at one point, why Haru would always seem to be agreeable to the battle. And that gives me some insight into that, because it's motivating and exhilarating to know that you're going to win, and that at last you have the effective tools to do just that, So strife meant something. Some of the negative connotation went out of strife, and I started using it as a part of the evolution process. First, I'm supposed to be aspired. I'm inspired, then I strive, and then I become established. So now I'm equating strife with striving. What's that?
So, Hatap, you are nuking correctly according to my conceptual framework. I will say, because you hit the nail on the head there. I think I will get to it in one of my comments. So that exactly is like what it was. Like, we say these words, but they have different meanings. Like when we were in, like, the amystical, worldly environment, and we were an amystical personality in an amystical worldly environment, culture, strife means like, oh, I have a definition of it, I think, coming up. And then what does it mean? Like you come into the teachings, maybe you still kind of feel like, because it's like, oh my goodness, this is like a lot of work to do. The challenge weighs down, and like it's almost like some of that weight that you took off with the vibrancy, like you put it back on your shoulders, like, oh, how am I going to do this, Shetty? I have to do all these things, 4 things, like every day, and how long? It's like the mind goes into a little tailspin, and then you do it, and you're trying to do it, and the ego still comes out, and it's like, oh, you're trying to battle, like, oh my gosh, so it can feel like that. So I had a question for you all. Also, everybody, type your thoughts on this. What do you feel about this word, strife? Like, in this statement, to have peace, there must be strife. So just for time's sake, I'm going to go on, unless somebody wants to speak, and then you can interrupt me. I'm going to go on to, talk about it. But please do type in, because that's what it is. I want your thoughts about like the statement to have peace, there must strife. Do you agree with that? Did you experience that? Like Shams Howard, like, did your experience of it change? Did the way you conceive strife change as you moved along? And Asaru Nutma, you can let me know when after the typing has kind of subsided, and when there's a few posts, and then we can read them. Okay. So I looked it up. I did my, the quick modern day Google. Strife definition: angry, bitter disagreement over fundamental issues, conflict. So to have peace, one must become angry and bitter in disagreement over the fundamental issues and conflict. That's like that's Haru's. That's Set's territory. But if we are striving to become that Haru mystically aligned to Nebuchadnezzar, that wouldn't work for us in our context. So I asked Google with spiritual strife definition. Spiritual strife is a state of inner conflict, inner turmoil, or struggle with one's spiritual beliefs and journey. So that's something I thought was interesting for aspirants to ask themselves. This is something good to journal on. Do you have a struggle with your spiritual beliefs? Is that what it is? And it might be for some people coming into the teachings, you don't have the full picture of the mystical teachings as yet. So there might be gaps and holes there. And those gaps and holes are where the struggle and inner turmoil and conflict can come in. Also, the understanding may not be fully developed. So that conflict, inner turmoil, and struggle can come in. So is it a matter of like your spiritual beliefs? Or do you have enough of a foundational spiritual belief within this mystical path that alleviates some of the struggle, conflict, and inner turmoil? And it might be enough, like just, it's not as much as it used to in degrees over time. Or do you struggle with the journey itself? Like, oh, why is this so long? Why do I have to go through this, fighting with, my own mind, and, and all of that. So these anger, confusion, a sense of being in opposition to one's faith, these are all things that are going to come out from the Harufi aspect, the set aspect of the Harufi personality of that is a phase of the spiritual aspirant. So if it happens, it happens. It happens to all of us. It's like, really, like, especially when you find out like the framework, the conceptual framework of the world being like a dream. You go like, God, can you? This is a nightmare. Can you have a better dream? You're God after all, right? So like the mind will bring up these little, questions and doubts and all of that, and that's just part of the journey. But we'll talk about it. Does it have to be part of the journey? And how can we cut that phase shorter? Like, how can we make that phase shorten it, even if you don't have all the full knowledge? because that's what the nuking does. The correct nuking, the attributing the I am to not the ego personality, but to the Nebuchadnezzar nature, Nebuchadnezzar Asar that we've been talking about, the mystical lineage. That's what that can do, cut that down. So must there be strife? That's Seba Jazz question. Like, whose definition? Like, is it a mystical type of definition of strife or a mystical lineage? And that's what James Howard like actually expressed. Like, he shifted from a mystical one to a mystical lineage one that works within his spiritual practice, a different way of seeing it, of experiencing it. But yeah, in a way it is, but also it's really no. And so this is part of our Aset being able to tell Haru and set apart. Like, so there's not a mix up. Can she discern your Haru predisposition from your set predisposition? And here, we're talking about the impure set aspect in this part of the myth. As you all have pointed out, Nuke Nebuchadnezzar. So no, because Nuke Nebuchadnezzar, so this is a big point I wanted to bring out. Nebuchadnezzar is not an action. Nuke Nebuchadnezzar is not an action. Being you, like I'm talking about you in the mystical illusory way, the personality way right now. Do any of you feel that you are an action? Being you is an action? And you are welcome to type in the chat. Is being you an action? No, you're just you. So that's something really to understand, that the being you is not an action. Being Nebuchadnezzar is not an action. So is it a strife to be yourself? Like you're sitting in a sofa, just relaxing. But somebody walks by, it's like, hey, is it a strife to be yourself? I'm not talking about like, oh, I want to be enlightened, and I'm just talking about you relaxing on the sofa as you, like just that within that context. You're sleeping in the bed. Is it a strife to be you? If we expand that to Nuke Nebuchadnezzar, our true essence, it's not a strife to be. The strife comes in from all the tension we hold, keeping ourselves from that awareness of Nuke Nebuchadnezzar. That's where the strife comes in. So really, in a way, there's no strife because we are Nuke Nebuchadnezzar already. It's not an action, it's an understanding that dawns when the mind is purified. We talked last week about, how much do you have to purify the mind? Enough. I had the same issue today. I had to clean my glasses again. It's like before I come out, it's like, oh, how much do I, how long do I clean them? How much time I'm running late? To clean them enough so I can have clear vision of what I want to see. So you clean your mind, you purify your mind enough so you have clear vision of your Nebuchadnezzar nature, so that all the movements of the mind, the thoughts, the feelings, and all the dullness and the agitation and lucidity and all based on egoism is like doing its dance around the mind, but it's not able to obstruct you. So, and Basbeka did share this image like she mentioned last week that Seba had in the Temple of Aset course. And I don't know the context of it, so I may put a different context in it here, but the context I'm going to put here, it's like, sometimes as an aspirant, you feel like, you're trying to penetrate a brick wall, like, this ego personality. It's like, it's trying to stop your movement. It's like, oh, am I going to ever be able to attain enlightenment? Am I able to going to get it purified? And you don't have to knock down the whole brick wall of the ego personality. It's good if you do, you'll have a really nice post-enlightenment experience. But all you need to do is knock down enough of it, enough of the egoism, so that you can have a clear vision of your Nuke Nebuchadnezzar nature. And what I mean by that is so when you have that clear vision of your Nuke Nebuchadnezzar nature, that's your glimpses of Nebuchadnezzar. And then when you become established in it, that's your technical enlightenment. Well, when the glimpses become enough that it's not going and coming and fading like that, then that's your technical enlightenment. And then from there, there's that still, it's like how the sun rises above the horizon. It's never going to go back down again. So like you're never going to go back down into like not knowing who you are. But just the way the sun will continue to rise, and it'll become a fuller experience of that process as you, as a sage, after their technical enlightenment, they'll continue to it was hard to put words to it. They'll continue to, it's within their own consciousness. The outward, you won't see anything, but it'll just become a fuller experience. And also what will happen is that the personality, they'll continue to work on the personality, work on purifying the personality more, getting the personality to be more effective. They want to be a speaker. They'll learn how to maybe, but they, the personality has never given talks, so maybe they might take a course on speaking. They want to learn how to play the piano, so they'll go study how to play piano because maybe they want to write spiritual music, things like that. So the personality will still continue to purify afterwards. But before, to get the technical enlightenment, you just need enough to see what you already are. So even reflect in terms of the mystical illusion, I think, so I said this, is saying I am Shams, and then put your name in, an action of striving to be yourself, right? So that was the question I've asked. Do you have to strive to be, do I have to strive to be Karen Ja? So why do I have to strive to be Nuke Nebuchadnezzar? Why am I going to put it in my mind in terms of like, I have to strive to be Nuke Nebuchadnezzar? I have to strive to be a beingness that I already am. I'm already peace. I'm already Hetep. So it's a matter of just waking up to the truth that already is. And that does not require any striving in the experience of it, in the being of it. And so this is where some people, like in different traditions, and even probably in our traditions, it happens to people, like there can be like frustration with the practice. It's like, because they're just like, I'm doing so much to be this Nebuchadnezzar. And if you keep Nebuchadnezzar as something, an action you have to attain, it never will be attained, because Nebuchadnezzar is not in the realm of actions. The actions are just to purify the mind, so you can get like that aha moment, like, oh, it's like you're walking around with your glasses on top of your head, and you're like, where are my glasses? Where are my glasses? And you're looking everywhere, and like, why do I have to be so striving all the time to find my glasses? Why do I have to be striving? Oh my goodness, like, where are my glasses? It's like, oh, it's right here. So the striving has to relates more to like the nonsensical aspect of the mind and all its machinations that it has to go through. But being yourself is who you already are, and there's no striving for that. So that must all, that's like, so that some people call that like the direct path kind of, that's the Reksheti. The aspect of Reksheti is like kind of twofold. One is a study in the wisdom, all the work you have to do, studying. But the other aspect is that the intuitional wisdom that a set is, you already are this. Know thyself, Rek Ab. So let's just take a moment here and just like, let's just close your eyes and keep your eyes open, because it's Nuke Nebuchadnezzar outside, Nuke Nebuchadnezzar inside, Nuke Nebuchadnezzar everywhere. And just take a moment to be in that stillness of just being that which you already are. Don't try to figure it out. If the mind wants to figure it out, let it figure it out. It's okay. You have nothing to do with that. Don't even repeat Nuke Nebuchadnezzar. Just have that be kind of like an overshadow. But just be. Hetep. So you can continue that afterwards. So this is a part of the Shedi also. Between the Ua, Shedi Ua, meditation, and the Shedi Rek, the listen, reflection, reflective meditation, Nuknevichur. So that was the no. And then the yes is, of course, it's in the way what we all talked about, the conditioned mind. It's not so easy to experience yourself as a tap, as abiding non-dual peace that truly you are right now. So that's the strife. So the conclusion is like, don't just focus on the strife as don't just only focus on the strife as a path to peace. You may feel that way. It's part of the phases that an aspirant goes through. So it's fine to feel it. But even when you're feeling it, feel also Nuknebichur at the same time. And you can do both. Why? Because you were made in that way to experience both. That's part of the human mystical illusory makeup process. You can do both. Focus on the strife as a path to realize the peace that you are already, more and more glimpses of it until it becomes stabilized. So strife as a reminder that you're working diligently, like you buried a treasure and now you're digging it up. You're not striving to create the treasure, right? You're not striving to create Nebuchadnezzar. It's already there. So do that rather than feel like engage in a feeling of lack, like you're trying to fill a hole. You're not trying to fill a hole. The hole is already filled. You're just trying to remember where the hole is that you buried your treasure in, and you filled it up with the treasure. Like, where did I do that? I'm already rich. Like, why? Where is that hole? That's what you're trying to do. So the strife is in the process of just the remembrance, the mystical remembrance. So then, as Shems Howard says, strife then takes on a different feeling and meaning in line with your Shedi. This was a poem that I did in the 90s. This is an excerpt. This is not the whole poem. But I had that, and then I'll have a Saramad share, because I think we're getting into time today. All the pain and sorrow I'd gone through, all the sufferings and strife. Oh, I didn't even, when I put this here, I didn't realize I had strife, but that's probably unconsciously what resonated, why my mind went to it. All the pain and sorrow I'd gone through, all the suffering and strife, until then, these realities, they had been my life. This understanding, talking about the spiritual mystical understanding, this understanding, like a stone, had shattered my mirror of delusion, enabling me in all situations to see beyond egoistic illusion. So that's that Nuknebichur. If you cling to it, in all situations, it is shattering the mirror of delusion. And therefore, even when there's a sense of strife, there's also Nuknebichur. And that's the Nuknebichur is the mystical image reality that is there. And the sense of strife just means like, I am just like working so hard. Look at me. I'm striving to climb up this tall mountain. It's just like that sense of strife takes on a different. So like nuke strife correctly, which Shems Howard shared, he did. Make sure strife is related to the process of self-discovery, a personality issue, and tied into frustration about not becoming something you are working hard to become. And make sure it's not tied into that sense of like, I'm working hard to become this, because you're nuke Nebuchadnezzar now and always. Otherwise, the Shedi process gets tainted and corrupted and becomes painful and real strife, discord, anger, all of that. We started a little bit late. I'm going to just run over a little bit to finish that section. Asarmat, do you want to read any posts that have come in? And if anyone has
Uja,
any.
Ni. So there were a few statements. Asarma'at submitted, Uja, Ni, the statement reflects strife, yet it is a beneficial experience to have the strife. It does reflect a different way of looking at the concept. Hetep. Bast Sekem Heteru said, Uja, strife makes you search for and appreciate peace. Hetep. Sarma, Uja, you want to comment?
Oh, no, keep going.
Okay. Uja from Sarma, this reflects the idea that when one begins meditating, it's not always pleasant. Negative, challenging things will come up. The unconscious or subconscious residue will come up to help cleanse the personality. Okay.
More strife. Yeah.
Baron Davis said, I agree. I feel it takes steadfastness, parentheses, like that of Aset to resurrect Asar, in parentheses, on the spiritual path to overcome Set, parentheses, ego, strife, and maintain peace in our life. I could go deeper into it, but to give a summarized answer to the question. I just quoted Seba, and then Baron Davis said, Uja, I get where you are coming from. It's not an action to be us. It's our identification with ourselves, ego, parentheses set, that causes us to believe it's an action. And then aspirant Haru Emaket Amon Mary said, Uja, a quote, must know if you can avoid it better. And if we think about it further, if nuke nebature and nebature is the underlying essence behind everything, who is giving you strife? Is there even strife? Hatep. And Shims Howard said, do it for the clarity, say but now. Hatep. That concludes it.
Do for all of that. So I want to, Baron, aspirant Byron said, it's our identification with ourselves that causes us to believe it's an action. Right, because while think of ourselves as the ego personality mentality that we have been conditioned to, right? So we come into the teachings with that. So like anything outside of that to acquire is going to be an action because the personality has the identity. So if the personality wants to get something, it's an action. I got to go do something to get this. I got to go do that. You know, so the thought is even in a subtle action. Like I gotta, I want. So as long as that identity is with the nuking incorrectly, I am does not go the whole way up and anchor in nebajur before when we repeat it, when we say it out. It's not that we're going to go around saying like I am never, in practical reality, but when we say I am, it should have that mystical lineage correction, not just like there's nothing wrong with the body and mind per se as part of like the expression of the mystical illusory aspect that the essence is nebajur, but that's not nebajur, this expression of it. So yeah, so as long as we're anchoring ourselves to the personality as the I am identity, then we're going to have to do something to get something else. But if we shift that nuking and start nuking correctly to the mystical lineage, then all our actions actually become like undoing instead of doing. Really, like what I don't know if you all. I used to like. I guess crochet. I used to call it knitting, but it's technically crochet. I found when I came to the States. In Guyana, we call it knitting because I don't think anybody crocheted in Guyana that I saw. So, but like when you're crocheting and you're making, and then if you like made something wrong, you can like pull it out. Or if like a child comes up, they can start, oh, this is fun. And they can just like undo the whole thing. Right? If you have a sense like that is my work that I was doing to make that, then you get frustrated. But really, the work is already like the frustration is already there. And really the mystical teachings is like just pulling that all out, pulling it away and letting the string go back to, its formless, shapeless, nameless string-like self. So it's like an on work, if you could say that. So, and I just want to make it, I like to, they have, when sages become enlightened, when they experience that enlightenment, then they come out of it. And then everybody goes like, oh, what happened? What did you experience? And they go like, well, it's an experience. I can't tell you. You got to experience it. That's the whole point of what I'm going to tell you. But what I'm going to tell you is that, like, if you think of peace that just doesn't waver, like abiding peace, like Hetep, it's like that. It's like You know how you get happy and sad and happy or joy and then you lose the joy? Like, no. This is like abiding joy. This is like research. Call that research. You know how love comes and goes and you love somebody a moment, then you like hate them the next. Like, this is not like that. This is like, it just is a kind of love that just unconditional stays there. It's like consciousness, pure awareness, pure consciousness. It like I can't even explain it to you. It transcends all concepts. So that's what they come out of it. So we can also like relate Nebuchadnezzar, like Nuke Hetep, Nuke Research, Nuke Mer, Nuke Pure Awareness, new consciousness. We can also do that. So I want you not to keep it conceptual, this like sense of Nebuchadnezzar, Nuke Nebuchadnezzar, as in like, oh, I can't experience it right now. I'm striving to feel it now as much as possible. You know, think of for somebody who has amnesia and they forget their true identity. And they're getting flashes and glimpses, and people, their friends are telling them about like their old person identity. They can get like, even when an aspirant is not in formal UA meditation, you can get those glimpses when the mind is relaxed and quiet and serene. It just comes to you because it's what you are. When the noise dies down, it reveals itself. When the cloudiness on the glasses move away, I can get a vision enough, I can see who I am. So it's like you should not always feel like, if I'm not doing my Shedi, I'm not experiencing Nuke Nebuchadnezzar. Like, that should not be the case. It may be or may not be. Who's making the judgment? Set? Set is going to tell you what's going on in a realm that he has no access to. She has no access to. So what causes the amnesia, the mystical amnesia, or amystical amnesia, really? You know, it's like it's from doing, you know, I have it here, not even in meditation, but from not doing what the 42 precepts tells you to not do. Right. So the 42 precepts tell you things not to do. And if you don't do those things, what they tell you not to do, that tends to keep the mind quiet, calm in meditation, in a informal meditation, a meditative way. And you will get that experience of your Nuke Nebuchadnezzar nature kind of coming out. It may feel like, I feel really good today. I have a sense of well-being today. You know, today, like, nothing bothers me today. I don't know why. It's like nothing just bothers me today. You'll have those experiences that are the fragrance of the mystical experience. So appreciate that. You know, my mom is, I have a family member. Oh, I outed her. I was going to say a family member. I have a family member who's going back to their ancestry.com lineage home for the first time in a long time. And there's an excitement about it. There's an anticipation about it. Like a sense of a great adventure, like, oh, and they're taking like another family member, and it's like, oh, I don't know how it's going to be, what it's going to be. I can't wait to get there. I can just be relaxed. The person said, like, I can just speak, unlike in this culture where everything I say is a political agenda. I can just say whatever I want there, and I can just relax in myself and be free to be me. And they're looking forward to going there. So keep in mind what Sage Amenemhotep says, look forward to going to the beautiful West. That's why I wanted you all in the beginning to like remember that vibrant feeling. That vibrant feeling that you had coming into the teachings was real. It's not something to be forgotten and go like, oh, I guess I was just naive. No. That's like what happens when you take off all the sense of like the burdens of life. It's like, oh, wow. So reconnect with it and look forward to going to the beautiful West. Abiding joy, abiding peace. Doesn't mean like the world stops being the world, the illusory world. Doesn't mean like your roof won't leak, a hurricane might not come. Doesn't mean you don't have worldly problems from nature, from other people, from your own physical body as it ages. Those things will be there. Like that's just part of the mystical illusory world. But there's something separate from all of that, that is abiding joy, abiding peace, abiding love. And so that is just being. Unefer, beautiful existence. So Sage Manahopi says, yeah, look forward to that. Keep reminding yourself of that. Don't forget it. Like, feel like you're going to take that trip every time you're going to go do a Shetty practice. Every time you wake up in the morning, it's like, beautiful West. I'm going to the beautiful West. And that kind of dissipates the thought of like, this is going to be strife. Like, which one do you want to have? I'm going to the beautiful West. It's like, oh, this is going to be another strife-filled day, you know. Like you're going in the, so like we're going to do a little meditation and then we'll close out that. So like, you know, that imagine like we're going to use like illusory time and space reality feelings to kind of transport us to something greater. So imagine you're going on a journey somewhere, really, really you want to go there. And there's a dear family member you haven't seen for a long, long time. So I want you to cultivate those feelings. Your favorite family member, but it's a bit of a strife to get there. You got to stop here. You got to fly there. You got to sail here. I remember when Seba he did it for his mystical family member when he was in Greece, going to the Temple of Aset in Greece. Like, you know, it wasn't just like you landed there and like you're there at the Greek Temple of Aset. You had to like take a flight. You had to take a little ferry, and then you had to walk. It was like a little journey to get there, to get to that experience. But if it's someplace you want to go, and that was to see his Aset, you know, his lady Aset, you know. So uh, that was the beautiful West, you know, them using that, like, oh my goodness, like, you know, of course there's the temples and all of that she represents, and that for Sebama it's like the teachings and what can I find their teachings, why to share more with the spiritual aspirants about this ascet nature, this intuitional wisdom nature, and bring it back and all of that. um, so going on a journey somewhere really you want to go, and there's a little strife to get there. You got to do a few things, a few challenges, but when you get there it's like, OMG, oh my gosh, you can feel it now. It's like you can, you know, but now even before you get there, you can feel it. Like, feel it. Can you smell it? What is it going to smell like? Is it lotus flowers? What is your beautiful West like? You can build it up all you want, make it any way beautiful you want, based on what the sages have shared us. Can you taste it? What does it taste like? Does it taste like nectar? Does it taste like honey? What does it taste like? And what does it feel like? Can you touch it? You're the beautiful West. What is it? You know, what is it? What does it feel like on you? What do you feel like internally as you experience it? Another example, put the mind in there. You're going on a searching for gold adventure, and you're guaranteed to find gold. But there's some strife, mud to walk through, paths, and like get to these like areas that are not so easy. With each step, what are you focusing on? Are you focusing on the gold that is going to be yours, or the strife? Are you focusing, oh, I kind of twisted my ankle there? It's like, yeah, that's a problem. I'm not saying not to ignore that, but right away, like comes in the mind, oh, like somebody says, hey, do you want to stop? Is your ankle hurt? It's like, no, no, no. I'll make it. I can go. And then you smile again, like you don't just tell them, no, no, oh my, like, oh, no, 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 your happy face. Like, I can do it. I got it. So that kind of like, you know, there's a challenge, and it's like, yeah, it's good. Look forward to going to the beautiful West. Envision it, smell it, taste it, embody it, fill yourself with a sense of beauty, go deep. And this is Rek Shetty. You're doing your Shetty disciplines when you're doing this. Is what the reflection and meditation aspect of Rek Shetty is. You listen to all of this stuff now. You've been reflecting in it. You can reflect afterwards. You can journal about it. And then meditate on it. Just actually sit and embody it. being in that beautiful West. That's the Reksheti, the wisdom, the the Reksheti, an aspect of the reflection is to actually like feel it, not just like. So it brings in an aspect of Uashu devotion too in there. It's like you're feeling, this mystical lineage divinity aspect. Power why frustration arises on the spiritual path of life. So again, I think I'm coming up to the end, and we'll leave it there. Sage Amenemopit, the glorification, this is Seba Ma on Sage Amenemopit from, I think, when he did the teachings. The glorification, the adorableness. Think of you look a little baby and it's adorable. Seba Ma is saying this is adorable. The adorableness, the worshipableness of arriving at Amuntet, the beautiful West, Amentet. The spiritual goal is the worthy and adorable thing, and the other heated goal is what should be rejected. So we've talked about that already. I don't know how that got to be there. So I put shake off the heebie-jeebies of the delusion and pain and suffering from misunderstanding who you are that produce all of the negative are you, including the frustration and the strife. And when you're not being it, remember it and be it. Just go on. So don't just keep it as a head chant. Have a sense of it, of being it. Put some feeling into it. Sekao and Sekamen. Mindful, mystic mindful remembrance remember your spiritual mystic lineage. Do not forget to be unmindful. Okay. And this is the mystic remembrance. We'll end after this. I have like a closing prayer based on this. So this is an image, a image of that Seba personality drew. Sebaja's Shedi Rek, reflective contemplative art. And then there's a proverb that says, actually, I found today, so I was like very pleased to find that. It like kind of reinforces, never forget the word that in Kemetic we have images and we have words. Never forget the words are not the reality. Only reality is reality. Even these images are not reality. The words are not reality. Picture symbols are the idea. The words are confusion. So picture symbols give a little bit more clear idea of what it is. Words can get a little confused. So also you can look at the images in the temple, and the symbols. So what mystic lineage home feels like, both to look forward to it and experiencing it in a stable way, and at the same time, know it is you right now. You can do both. You can look forward to it and you can experience it in the here and now because you already are it. So this is a picture of Nebuchadnezzar, love, joy, bliss, peace, nuke, I am, awareness, peace, joy, love. Can you feel it? Take a moment to engage your Huru nature and connect to your lineage. Nuke correctly. Breathe into those strifely emotions you experience with the sublimation feature that you are following the advice of sages like Sage Amenemhotep, revering the idea of going to the beautiful West. Okay, we will leave it there. I think, yes, we will leave it there. We're almost finished. Oh, I apologize, but there's just one, this is the last page of that section. And then we go on to Vast Antony. So let's just complete that. So this will be our closing devotion prayer. So sitting with your spine straight. And I'm trying to bring in like a whole integral Shedi experience here, if you are noticing, right? Not just wisdom teachings, but kind of experiential, reflective, meditative practices, because I wanted to, it's an integral process of learning. And so now we're bringing in the somatic aspect, right? This is a big thing in our Western culture now, like for healing, somatic experiences, the body experience, in line with the mind, in line with the teachings, in line with the mystical lineage, right? So we're going to nuke correctly at a affirmation of a mystical lineage, taken physical action to affirm. And you can stand, or I'm just going to sit. Nuke Jetty means I am steadfast. So this is about remembering and not forgetting. When you forget, remember again and not forget. When you forget, remembering and not forget, till it becomes a perpetual remembrance, mystical remembrance, and becoming steadfast in that, steady in that. And it's part of your soul nature. Jed relates to Asar. Asar is steadfast. The Jed pillar of Asar. That's your soul essence. So these are not things that you have to strive. You just have to remember that they're already there. You're already Jed. You're already Asar. Haru has this as a part of his makeup, being born of Asar. As the aspirant, you have to remember that you have that. So the chant is going to be Nuke Jedi, Say Jedi, Ama Em Jedu, Messi Em Jedu. I am steadfast, child of steadfast, conceived I in steadfastness, born I in steadfastness. So you were conceived in soul awareness. You were born in soul awareness. You're the child of soul awareness. That makes you soul awareness. And Asar is Ra, is Nebuchadnezzar. So of this here, it's Shedi Ma'at, Ari, we're going to do the action. Shedi Washu, a reflection. Shedi Rek, concentration, Vua. I will leave it up to any Shems Rakat. I don't want to put, I didn't coordinate this with any of the Basu, and I don't know which Basu are on here. But if a Basu wants to lead us in the Asar Jed posture, you can, otherwise I will. And if any of you want to do it, just turn on your mics and do it. I'll give a moment for that. Otherwise, or if anyone wants to do it, even if you're not a Basu, like, well, when I say anyone, the Shems or that are proficient in it, or the clergy or anyone. Seba does keeping her fingers crossed. Please, please, please let someone volunteer. Please. Oh, Nebuchadnezzar. Oh, Nebuchadnezzar. Oh, Mampu.
Uja, Sebaja.
Prayers answered.
Can you share with me again what you were asking, just so that I'm clear?
Oh, just the Jed posture, to lead us in the Jed posture. And we don't have to, those who want to stand in their sacred spaces can, but also we can sit.
Okay. So let's come to a standing posture. Our feet are about hip width distance apart. We're going to take a breath, and then we're going to bring our feet together, toes and heels are touching. Taking an inhale breath, exhale. And with our next inhale, let's bring our hands out, 45-degree angle. Exhale, bend our left arm across our right chest. Right arm against our left chest, staying connected to the breath. Asar Jaded pillar.
Dua. So repeat after me now. Nuke Jetty.
Jetty.
Say Jetty.
Say Jetty.
Ama and Jedu.
Ama
Messia em Jedu.
Messi Jetty.
I am steadfast.
I am
I
steadfast.
Child of steadfast.
Child of steadfast.
Conceived I in steadfastness.
Conceived I in
Conceived
steadfastness.
Born I in steadfastness.
Born I in
steadfastness.
Nuke Jetty.
Nuke Jetty.
I am Asar.
I
I
Say Jetty.
Jetty.
I'm the child of Asar.
am the child of Asar.
Ama Enjedu. I was conceived in Asar. Messy I am to do. I was born in Asar. Just for a moment, stay in the posture. Breathe and just nuke Jetty. Remember to take advantage of the pauses after the exhalation and the pause at the inhalation. Brief pauses. Nuke Jetty, say Jetty, Messy Anjedu. Om Hatap, 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 Hatap. Om peace, 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 peace. Hatap. And so, let me stop sharing the screen. Oh, there it is. So next time we will continue on. And so it's taken Seba a little longer because this is just so rich. And so it perhaps I have the saying, I'm clinging to the saying, well begun is half done. So a lot of emphasis in this first part, because I think this is still set in the framework, and I think it will lay a foundation for the second and the third part to go a little bit faster. That is the plan. But for this first part, taking a little bit to keep constructing that conceptual framework of nuking correctly through the passages. And then I think we'll all get the hang of it. And then we'll be able to move fast. That's what Seba is working with right now. But she doesn't know for sure because she hasn't even looked at since I did the separation, she hasn't looked at those other two sections. She's just been focusing on this section. So we'll see you next week, and Los Anthony has some proverbs, and then we'll keep going through everyone's that way. And if it runs a little longer, well, it was not the plan, but going with the plan. And for those who may, not be able to join in the long term, if it continues on for a bit, it'll be recorded too. But I hope you are able to make the time and join. And so hopefully next week, let us try to see if we can start at 12:30, because there's another program that from another group that starts at 12:30. So I do want to try to get back to that. Today was a few different technical difficulties in the devotion and technical difficulties and some setup this morning. Any questions, Asar Unut Maat? Anything else to read?
On Seba, just general comments of aspirant Kimber said, "Do a Seba, wonderful elaboration on the teachings, aspiring to Aket, Mary, Nefer, verse, Atep, and then just adorations to Seba."
Which verse was that? Because it'll leave Sivaja's mind on like, which verse was that? I want to know what you experienced.
No, the Uja, the Nukjeji Sejeji verse.
I just wanted to be clear. I kind of thought was that, but I didn't know. Okay, Dua. And then Upsetna. I'm so funny. Yes, Dua Upsetna for I forgot to make that disclaimer before I started the series. You all can turn on your cameras as we close off here. I'm gonna play again like either one of the two songs that I've been playing earlier, Nukeru, or if you all have a preference, you let me know, or Shemzarit, Om Kepra Nebuchadnezzar, Om Nebuchadnezzar Kepra Sar by Shemzarit.
Uja Sebaja, Bas Paket, or Unut Bas Paket. So I just wanted to share with you. You mentioned something about 12:30 next week.
Oh no!
What did you mean?
I wanted to conclude by 12:30.
Conclude. Oh, okay. Okay.
So if
Perhaps
we can
I misunderstood.
if we can start as close to 11 as possible. I don't want to derail too much and go off there. So it happens. So we'll regroup, and if we can sign on earlier, because I will make an effort, barring technical challenges, to start at that time.
Much decent.
And yeah, the disclaimer I meant to put at the beginning is that Sivaja apparently has a sense of humor, and it's not always appreciated and is not always understood. So if ever, sometimes if I see myself in a replays, and I will see that I'm like laughing because I guess there's a part of me that finds humor in the mystical, illusory, egoistic expressions and thoughts and things like that. So it's never meant to be like taking whatever you're sharing not seriously or making fun of you. It's just I find humor in these things, and I have a lot of resources where through animals, through my previous career and things like that I get a lot of, I don't want to say ideas, but insights, I guess, through the humor. So, and it takes the edge off of the egoism to find humor in it. What a spiritual teacher had told me once that because they have a little bit of humor also when maybe a lot, they have humor in their expression. So they were explaining to me that, and even if this is expressed in, if you go to the Priest and Precepts book about how the priests and priestesses conducted themselves, how they conduct themselves, that in ancient time, it's like kind of a silent nature, a gur, serene, expression. And so it's the same thing in that tradition that the sage I was speaking to. And like, it's not looked upon, it's frowned upon to be humorous about it. But that sage explained to me that that is like I'm paraphrasing from a long time ago, but they explained that humor doesn't take away from the seriousness of the teachings. It actually can add to it, because when there's humor, we can relax, we can laugh. And when we laugh, we relax. And when we relax, it allows for the mind to become calm, and we get those fragrances of our Nebuchadnezzar essence that kind of diffuse into our personality. And we get a sense of well-being and feel good. And, there's something called laugh yoga now, even, and things like that. And, because laughing, and there's a laughing Buddha. So all of that is like in line with the spiritual process, as long as it doesn't, derail from, the teachings and the meaning, if it adds to it. And so I hope my humor adds to it. With that, that's it. Any last minute comments before we sign off?
Uja, Uja, Uja.
Uja. Do everybody that says Dua. Dua Sorma, do say Kepra, Dua. Well, do everyone who didn't say there's a lot here. Dua Sibaja, do it. So for nuking. Because whatever you type in the chat, unfortunately, doesn't show up on the recording. So that's why I'm just trying to look here to see if you all had any things that I Dua Aptu from Byron Davis. May your ancestors put good things in your destiny. Yes, our both our ancestry.com ancestors and our mysticism.com mystical lineage ancestors as well. That's up. Divine humor. Do say Kepper. Okay, blessings and peace, everyone. On to the music. I'll put on the Shemsarit because that's readily available here, and I really actually do love it very much. And it just worked right in with the theme of this program today. So for those who may not be able to, so it's Om, Nebuchadnezzar, Kepra, which is Ra, Asar, Om, the mystical lineage, or what I'm referring to as the mystical lineage. Peace and blessings, everyone. We'll close out.